Hello YouTube, this is going to be a What's on my iPad Pro video. I use my iPad Pro for all my college classes. I don't have a backpack. I carry around this purse all day. For accessories, I have the Poetic Quarterback. It is compatible with the Apple keyboard and has an Apple Pencil holder. I have the Apple Pencil and I have the Apple Smart Keyboard. Some people choose to get a Bluetooth keyboard, which would save you a lot of money, but I went with the Apple Smart Keyboard just because it was convenient. There's no batteries, it's always kind of going to be there for me, and I type a lot, so I knew I was going to use it. I use the Apple Pencil for my classes to handwrite notes or to do some drawing. I have Procreate. I like to do sketches or graphic design in my free time. To me, the Apple Pencil makes sense. Part of the reason why you get the iPad Pro is that you want the Apple Pencil compatibility. So let's talk about some of the apps that I have on my iPad. I separate all my files based on the type of document or app that I'm working with. So you see how I have writing, PowerPoint, etc. On my second page, it's a little more miscellaneous. I have all sorts of different apps. Some of them I like to experiment with. Not really sure if I'm going to have time to get through all of them today. Let's start with the writing apps. You can see the ones I've made other videos on, like GoodNotes. It was a lot of fun taking notes in medicinal chemistry because of all the different information, all the different chemical structures. It was a class that you really needed to handwrite for, and on the iPad it let me pick all of the different colors. I was able to pick like a white ink to write on top of the pictures. I could highlight important information or categorize information based on color. I also had a math-related class last semester. It was pharmacokinetics, so I had to draw graphs. The graph paper was uploaded for us on the school's website, and then all I had to do was download it into GoodNotes, and I had an infinite amount of graph paper for my homework. I organize a lot of the files in Notability. For example, in this folder, I have each class's syllabus. I also did some note-taking in Notability, some homework assignments in Notability. I kept a lot of the files that I was using to study off of here. So I would download PDF versions of my notes in PowerPoint, then put them into Notability so when I was studying I could scroll through them. I took a lot of notes in Google Slides because the professors uploaded all their notes as PowerPoint files. A group of friends, we all collaborated and we took notes together. So we shared the same PowerPoint file, we had bullets underneath, and we would take turns either being the lead typist and typing, kind of transcribing during class, while other people, we would ask questions, we would make corrections to whoever was typing's notes. I've got some built-in shortcuts, and this is connected to my Google Drive account, so it works in Google Documents and in Google Slides. You have to set these using the desktop version. It's in your preference options. You can't set it using the app. So I have table flip, I have dance, some other emoticons like happy and sad faces. I have some helpful ones such as alpha or beta. I have a forward arrow shortcut and I have a backward arrow shortcut. I also use the backwards and forward slashes to do increasing and decreasing. I use these a lot in my notes. When I studied, I could either do what I did before. I showed you I could export it as a PDF and then put it into Notability so I could scroll through them, or I could study directly off of the Google Slides app by flipping through the slides and then scrolling through the bottom bullets. Also in our group, we'd leave comments for each other, things to help us memorize the information on the slides, things that we were confused about. Okay, so besides PDF files and PowerPoint files, I also use Word documents. This is Google Docs, so I have study tables here, and these all kind of connect to the medicinal chemistry notes that you saw earlier. So I'd have Google Docs open on one half of my screen, and then I'd have my MedChem notes open on the other half. So the MedChem notes were the handwritten notes that I wrote in class. And then after class, either when I'm on the bus or when I'm on the train, if I'm sitting somewhere in the library, I'd open up these files and I'd start typing the important information from the handwritten notes over into the Google Documents so that I could make these study tables. Now I can also color the text that I type in Google Documents if I highlight them and then pick the text color. This is an example of a finished study table. Now to talk a little bit about files, storages, because you're not going to have the usual file explorer you'd have on a desktop. You have these apps, so I have Dropbox that I use sometimes. I have Google Drive that I use most currently. So in here I have folders for all the different years, the subjects. I have some backup folders for Notability. So I separate most of my folders by semester, then by subject. And you can see you can organize your files by selecting them, and then you can drop them into another folder. And I'm not really going to move them around right now since this is a shared drive. Most of my drives we share with our study group so that we can work on everything together. My drawing apps, I have Sketchbook, but I mostly use Procreate now. The Sketchbook app was a free version. Procreate you do have to pay for. I've started doing some comic drawings for one of the clubs that I'm in, the newspaper club. Procreate's really nice in that it'll create a video of the strokes that you make so you could see yourself draw. I have all these different layers. I also have some scanning apps. Of the scanning apps that I tried, I really liked Tiny Scanner. Sometimes I would take pictures of the slides and then Tiny Scanner would convert them into a flat, really nice file. I take pictures of some of the handouts they give to us. So this handout was given to us to fill out while we were doing some kind of computer training. And I don't really carry a pen with me, so I took a picture of the handout with Tiny Scanner. Then I can move it to Notability. Notability will create a new file. Okay, usually the file shows up there, but it should be here. And now I have a file on Notability that I can write with my Apple Pencil, or I can type with it using the Apple Smart Keyboard. I also have some flashcard apps, so I have Quizlet. I've shown myself using that in a previous video, and Anki. So I could have, again, one of my note files, I'm just going to use medicinal chemistry again, open, and then I can create another study set, and then create some flashcards there. I also have Anki. I just discovered this in the past semester. It's a pretty good app. The laptop desktop version is a lot better than the app version. I have noticed the app version tends to crash a lot, which is unfortunate. However, something that you can do on the app version that you can't really do on a laptop is that I can very easily copy and paste files from my PowerPoint app into this Unki app. So what I did for a couple of my classes was I'd copy the slide, I'd put it into the answer section, I'd form a question on the question side. And then because I'm a visual learner, I like to picture the slide in my head, and now on my flashcard, it is the picture of the slide. You can do the same thing on the desktop version, but you'd have to probably use the snipping tool and copy and paste each slide. It's not as easy. iStudiez Pro is my scheduling app. I'll put my classes schedule in here. It notifies me on my phone 15 minutes before class starts. It also notifies me of any homework assignments that I put in. It's all customizable. You can set it to remind you when a homework assignment is due a week ahead of time or a couple of days ahead of time. This is my Transcribing app. So I can keep the Transcribing app open on the left, and I'll have the slides open on the right with the bullet points. And this app makes it really easy to use my hand to just kind of swipe a couple seconds forward or backwards while I'm transcribing. So you can see I can jump forward large amounts using this small bar in the bottom, or I can swipe back and forth and see where I am in the recording. I can adjust the speed to make it faster or slower. So for the faster talking professors, I'll slow them down so it makes it easier for me to type. You can also adjust the pitch. I don't really touch on that too much. I also have Google Excel. If you're noticing a pattern here, I like Google's apps more than I do Microsoft's version of the apps. And here, again, this is for medicinal chemistry, but I organized the drugs based on what type they were. I tried to figure out patterns in their routes of administration, and I highlighted them different colors, green for yes, red for no. So this is what's on my iPad. I've been using my iPad for school for 5 years now. So if you're just starting out, you've got an iPad, you're not sure what you need, a writing app, Word, PowerPoint, maybe Excel, a scanning app, any hobbies that you enjoy like drawing, Netflix or YouTube to watch videos during your free time, a remote desktop app if you think you need it. I haven't been using it as much recently. A scheduling app, any other extra apps that you think might be helpful if you transcribe a lot, if you read, maybe you want a reading app, and that's all you really need. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below or message me directly and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks for watching.